What's up, everybody? Mark Allison here with my weekly WWE wrestling report. Sorry about the lighting and everything. Trying a little something different here, a little different camera. Let's get right to it. What a week we had in WWE this week, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off, kick off the night with main event. We had a rematch from last week as Apollo Crews took on EC3 in a rematch last week. Apollo Crews got the win. This week on main event, EC3 gets his win back, I guess you could say, as he defeats Apollo Crews in the first match on main event this week. A very good match there. A little concerned though. It looked like EC3 might have injured his arm a little bit and everything. Hopefully there's nothing wrong, nothing too serious and everything, and doesn't derail him on his road to WrestleMania and everything. Up next was the main event for main event, as Tyler Breeze, Kalisto, Lindsay Dorado took on Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, Sunil and Samil. And pretty decent six-man tag match here. Nothing spectacular. Tyler Breeze looked good as always. In the end, it was the team of Tyler Breeze, Kalisto, and Lindsay Dorado defeating Jinder Mahal and the Singhs. Once again, the Jinder and the Singhs cannot seem to get it done. I'm having a feeling we're probably going to see a breakup of them. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I like to see Jinder on his own, and I would like to see the Singh brothers. I like to see them do more in the tag team division because they are a very good team. But let's get on now to Raw. Raw kicked off this week with a six-man tag match. We go from one six-man tag to another six-man tag, so that was kind of weird blocking that they did because, you know, I told you it's like main event usually films before Raw goes on the air, so it's kind of weird. They had a six-man tag, and then they went into another six-man tag. If I was there live in the arena and stuff, that would kind of bore me out. Of course, they did have an opening promo segment with on Raw when it kicked off, but the first match on Raw was Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush taking on Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman. Decent little match here, not really too much to say. In the end, Baron Corbin and McIntyre and Lashley, they do pick up the win for their team. So, you know, it's like, well, we know where we're going to go with that and everything, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Then we had probably my biggest disappointment from Raw. It was Natalya and Ruby Riott and everything, and I hated it. They only, I think in total it lasted probably about 30, maybe 40 seconds and everything, and it was just such a disappointment. I mean, the six-man tag match prior to this had a really long time. They could have cut some time off that and gave these two ladies a lot more time to do something. But nonetheless, Natalya does pick up the win over Ruby Riott. Just disappointing if they didn't give them no time to really get out there and do nothing. Out next, it was a gauntlet match as Heavy Machinery took on the B Team, the Ascension, and Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins in a gauntlet match. And Heavy Machinery, they look pretty dominant here. They defeated all three teams, so honestly, they ought to get a shot at the tag team titles. They won't, but they really ought to. They defeated every team on Raw and everything. But maybe they'll do something with them in the future. We'll wait and see. I'm really starting to dig Heavy Machinery. I didn't like them too much in NXT, but I think if they use them right and everything, I think they could be really good here in the WWE, on Raw especially. Out next, we had Elias taking on Dean Ambrose. This all came about from that opening promo I was talking about where Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, they called out Dean Ambrose. They wanted to reform the Shield. Ambrose comes out, but before you can say anything, he is attacked from behind by Elias. This sets up the match, and it's actually not too bad of a match, but in the end, it was Elias picking up the victory here over Dean Ambrose. Elias leaves, out comes Reigns and Rollins to ask Dean to reform the Shield and everything. Ambrose, he says, no, I don't want to do it. He leaves. Then out come Big Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. They come in, they attack Rollins and Reigns. Ambrose sees this, he runs in and makes the save, and honestly, the way they built this whole thing up, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking on this because I really did like this. They built this whole reforming of the Shield up really well, and honestly, it actually made me emotional when they did the whole fist thing in the ring and everything. It made me really emotional and everything. It was cool to see. It was an awesome moment that we are going to get a Shield reunion. And if this is, and I think what made it so emotional for me is if it truly is the last time we're going to see the Shield in the ring, if all the rumors are true about Dean Ambrose not re-signing with WWE and leaving, it's like, I'm glad we're going to get the Shield one more time. I really do. I hope Ambrose doesn't leave. Honestly, if he leaves, it's like, you know, it's like I understand if he wants to leave, if he's tired, or if he doesn't like the way his character's going. You know, it's like I can't fault him on that, and I'll still be a fan of his. But I kind of don't want to see him leave. I really don't. I would love to actually see the Shield just stay together, stay back together, and just run roughshod like they did when they first came in. It's like they could have them win all the titles again, and I think that would be freaking awesome. But like I said, it was an awesome segment. I did like seeing the Shield reunite. And now moving on. Out next we had Tamina taking on Sasha Banks. This is continuing the storyline from last week when Bayley took on Nia Jax and defeated Nia Jax. This week, really a surprise to me, Tamina does get the win over Sasha Banks. So this Sunday we're going to have the first ever women's tag team match, Bayley and Sasha against, or they're going to defend their women's tag team titles against Nia and Tamina and everything. Both members of each team's got a win over each other. So honestly, I think Sasha and Bayley should retain. At least I hope so. But wasn't shocked to see Tamina actually get a win. I think it's the first time I've actually seen her get a win in a long time. Up next, we had, for the Raw Tag Team titles, Ricochet and Aleister Black taking on the champions, Dash and Dawson of the Revival. Pretty good match. It does end in a DQ for Ricochet and Aleister Black, so no titles change hands, thanks to Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. All three teams get involved in a fight and everything, and we're going to have pretty much a rematch at Fastlane for the Raw Tag Team titles, throwing Bobby Roode and Chad Gable in there, so it's going to be a triple threat tag team match for the titles. Hopefully the Revival can retain. The last thing we saw on Raw was Stephanie McMahon reinstating Becky Lynch. She says that, first she stripped Ronda of the title earlier in the night. Ronda makes her way back, says pretty much, I didn't relinquish the title and everything, and I want my title back. So Stephanie pretty much just hands her the belt back. She hadn't made a match for the vacant title at Fastlane, Charlotte and Becky Lynch, but since Ronda's got her title back now, it's now going to be the stipulation. It's going to be Charlotte and Becky Lynch. If Becky wins, she gets in the main event at WrestleMania. If Charlotte wins, Becky's done. Honestly, I would have rather have seen them do the stipulation was the winner of that match faces Ronda and everything. I think that would put more intrigue in it, because now everybody already knows what the finish is going to be. It's going to be Becky somehow getting a win, and it's going to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people are disappointed about that. I'm kind of disappointed about it myself. I would have rather seen a one-on-one match between Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania, but I'm not going to hate on it. The fact that it is a triple threat, it's still going to be a killer match, and I'm still going to be stoked to see it and everything. Whether or not it's what I want or not, it's still going to be an awesome match. It would have been better it being a singles match, but I can live with it being a triple threat match. Up next, we have SmackDown Live, and it starts out with Jey Uso taking on The Miz, pretty much getting ready for their tag team title defense against The Miz and Shane McMahon. at Fastlane and everything. Pretty decent match here. In the end, The Miz does pick up the win over Jey Uso. Miz and Shane, the best tag team in the world, they go into Fastlane with all the momentum right now. Out next, we had R-Truth in his United States Open Challenge. And this one was a fatal. Last week we had a triple threat match. It was R-Truth defending against Ray and Andrade. This week they throw Samoa Joe into the mix, makes it a fatal 4-way. This was probably the best match I had seen up to that point. Including main event and Raw. This is probably the best match I'd seen up to that point. Very good match here between all four of these competitors. In the end, it is Samoa Joe picking the win and winning his first ever WWE title. Well, WWE main roster title. So awesome to see. Hopefully they do something really good with Joe. Praying. Praying it's not going to be like it was with Nakamura and Rusev and everything, and they actually do something with the U.S. title now. Out next, we had Aleister Black and Ricochet taking on The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Pretty good match here between these two. In the end, it is Black and Ricochet winning. The whole schmoz happens when Nakamura and Rusev, they come in. They attack Aleister Black and Ricochet with The Bar. Out come the Hardy Boys to make the rescue. The good guys stand tall in the end, so who knows what's going to happen for here. I see possibly an 8-man tag coming up in the future. It won't happen at Fastlane because Aleister and Ricochet, they're already in the Raw Tag Team title, but probably on the next SmackDown, it'll probably be an 8-man tag. Out next was another disappointer of the night. Another quick women's match. It's like I hate. Once again, we had another quick women's match, and they did it on Raw. They did it here on SmackDown Live. I was like, it was Mandy Rose taking on Naomi, and I think this match was even shorter than Ruby Riott and Natalya from Raw and everything. I think it only lasted about 10 seconds. Mandy Rose does get the win as her and Sonya Deville are leaving. Asuka comes from out of nowhere and just lays both Mandy and Sonya out. Putting the bill because it will be Mandy taking on Asuka at Fastlane for the SmackDown Women's title, and I'm pretty sure Asuka's gonna win. I hope that they don't take the title off her right now. It's like I think it would be a dumb move to do. I like Mandy Rose, but I don't think Asuka needs to lose the title. Not in her first defense, especially since we ain't seen her on TV hardly any since she won the belt. The main event of the evening was set up in the opening promo package. This was Kevin Owens taking on Rowan. Not really much to say here about this match. They really didn't do a whole lot. Daniel Bryan got involved pretty early on. Match ends in the DQ. Kevin Owens does pick up the win on the DQ. Rowan and Daniel Bryan, they beat up Kevin Owens. And then to make the save, it was Mustafa Ali returning from injury. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Ali and everything now, since he is back and everything. But I am looking forward to Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Up next was 205 Live, a continuation of the tournament to see who's going to face Buddy Murphy at WrestleMania. The first match out of the gate was Oney Lorcan taking on Humberto Carrillo. And pretty good match. Actually, really good match here between Oni and Humberto and everything. Probably the best match I've seen with Humberto Carrillo and everything. Oney Lorcan does pick up the win, so awesome to see there. I've said in the past, I don't really see it in Humberto Carrillo. It's like, I think it maybe, I don't know what it is. But I was glad to see Oney Lorcan win and everything. So he is moving on in the tournament. Out next, we had Cedric Alexander taking on Akira Tozawa. Another really good match. 205 Live does not disappoint. If you're not watching 205 Live, you know, if you're watching the Raw and SmackDown, you're not getting the wrestling that you want to see, turn it over on 205 Live or NXT or something. You're going to see good wrestling. You really are. And this match between Alexander and Tozawa was a really good match. Alexander does pick up the win, so he does move on in the tournament. But once again, like I said, if you want to see good wrestling and everything, if you say you're not getting good wrestling on Raw or SmackDown, check out 205 Live, check out NXT or NXT UK. You're going to see, or check out Main Event. You're actually going to see good matches on there. It's like I've been seeing really good matches on Main Event. I don't know why they don't want to do it on Raw. Occasionally they will. Up next was NXT UK. The opening match was Gargano taking on Joseph Connors. Gargano does pick up the win here. Once again, Joseph Connors are still on that losing streak and everything. I don't know where we're going to go with him from here. Gargano and everything, it's like I see him being a star on 205 Live. It's like I don't think he'll be a big star anywhere else, but 205 Live, I think he'll be a really good big star. Then we had a tag team match as Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley, I think I said that right. They took on the team of Marcel Barthel and Fabian Aichner, and I gotta say, that team of Barthel and Aichner and everything is quickly becoming one of my new favorite teams in the WWE. They do pick up the win here over Stoker and Howley. I think I said that right. But I'm really digging this team of Marcel Barthel and Fabian Aichner. Check them out if you haven't. Then we had a women's match. Nina Samuels taking on Charlie Morgan. Finally a good time. Good women's match here. Much better, probably the best women's match I've seen. I've seen all week and everything. Nina Samuels does pick up the win over Charlie Morgan, but it was awesome to see a good women's match after what we got on Raw and what we got on SmackDown. Up next was the main event for NXT UK. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Travis Banks taking on Jordan Devlin. And I've watched these two wrestle in the past, and this right here was the best match I've seen them do. They've always done good, but I think the way they've set the story up, the rivalry between these two wrestlers and everything, is like this was definitely by far the best work I've seen from these two. This was a great Falls Count Anywhere match. Go check it out on the WWE Network on NXT UK, and it was a very good match. In the end, Jordan Devlin does pick up the win after the Spanish Fly off the apron through a table and everything. Awesome spot. Very good match. Go check it out. Probably my match of the week. Matter of fact, is my match of the week. Up next, we go to NXT. They kicked off the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic here tonight. They had all the first round matches took place on this night. The first match in the Classic was Ricochet and Aleister Black taking on Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel. Disappointed here. I was hoping Aichner and Barthel would win, but I kind of knew they wouldn't. In the end, it was Ricochet and Aleister Black picking up the win and moving on in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Very good. It was a very good match, though. Not gonna lie. Not going to say it was a bad match. Not going to say it was an okay match. It was a good match. All four men, they went out there and they killed it. Of course, like I said, it's NXT. They always do. Especially the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I've watched every one of them, and every one of them has been awesome. I'm a fan of tag team wrestling. What can I say? The next match out was the Forgotten Sons, Steve Coulter and Wesley Blake taking on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And this one was a surprise and everything. I really thought Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch were going to win this match, but in the end, it was the Forgotten Sons picking up the win here. And it kind of shocked me and everything. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think that. It's like I don't think that the Forgotten Sons, Coulter and Blake, I don't think they got any staying power and everything as far as being a top team. But like I said, I could be proven wrong. This was an okay match. It wasn't the best. I think Lorcan and Burch and stuff, they really carried this match and everything. And they covered for all the flaws that Coulter and Blake have. But in the end, it was the Forgotten Sons picking up the win and moving on in the tournament. Out next, we had Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate taking on the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Good match here. Not a great match. Good match. everybody, if you've watched these in the past, you know I'm not really high on the Street Profits and everything. They're a good team. I don't know. There's just something about the gimmick I don't like. Now Trent Seven and Tyler Bate and everything, they're freaking awesome. They do pick up the win here over the Street Profits and move on to the next round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. The main event of NXT was the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish taking on DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. What can I say? You got 4 really top-notch athletes doing their thing. Great match here, great storytelling. In the end, it was Gargano and Ciampa winning. I kind of figured they would. But very good match. DIY does move on into the tournament. We're going to see where this goes from here. From all the rumors I've been hearing, Ciampa is injured and everything, so I know they've filmed this, so it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the ending of this, especially if the rumors are true about him being injured. Where the Undisputed Era goes from here, who knows? I don't know what they're going to do with him. It's like, other than probably pull him up after WrestleMania, but honestly, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Big news, though, another big news that came out of NXT I'm going to get to. The new North American heavyweight champion, the Velveteen Dream, comes out to cut a promo, and we know who his next opponent's probably going to be at TakeOver WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be the original Bro himself, Matt Riddle, and they're probably going to put the title on him. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Matt Riddle, he is hot right now. And he is on fire right now in the WWE, and he is definitely. It's like he's still got. I don't like the Bro gimmick, but I will say this: as far as in-ring work and everything, it's like I don't know of anybody that can really touch him right now. It's like for somebody that is just gotten into it. Gotten into wrestling as quick as he has and everything, for him to pick up on it as quick as he has, it's impressive. But that was my week of WWE wrestling. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give a like, throw in a comment and everything. I don't know how many people are watching any of these. This is episode 3. But thank you for watching. I am Mark Allison, and I'll see you next week, and have a great weekend.